Welcome to the Tuesday rant on the Jumpstart. Today's rant is about a guy named Eli. Eli is an Old Testament Hebrew Bible guy, and he was kind of the judge of Israel, and he was in charge of making sure people did the right things, and he communicated God's word to the people, and he was supposed to be the key leader of the whole place. He was even a priest, and he's at the end of his life, it turns out, and there's this big battle, and he just sent the holiest relic that the Jews had into battle with his sons, and everything went bad. His sons were killed, the ark was taken. It was disastrous. And here's the last verse about Eli. It's in 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 18. It says, when the messenger mentioned what had happened to the ark of God, Eli fell backward from his seat beside the gate. He broke his neck and died, for he was old and overweight. He had been Israel's judge for 40 years. And there's your final image of the guy. Sitting on a stool, he gets really bad news. He falls on his head, breaks his neck, and dies. And there are probably some funny in there, but there's a whole heck of a lot of sad. Because you got a guy at the end of his life, and if you look at the book, he's no longer been living his principles. He's not been using his gifts and talents to the fullest. He's kind of decided to be comfortable where he was, and he wasn't developing other leaders. And he led for 40 years, and the lasting image we have of him is old fat guy dies by breaking his neck. Conversely, I went to a funeral last week for a pastor who's my wife's uncle, and he lived his life pouring into other people, using his gifts, being sincere, living his principles. And at the funeral, it was just story after story about how this man had impacted lives in good ways. What's your story going to be like at the end? Are people going to say, wow, he or she, they used their gifts to advance God's kingdom, they poured into lives, they touched lives, it was great? Or are they going to say, yeah, kind of let down at the end, or let down at the middle, or never really took off? The choice is yours. And that's today's Jumpstart.